Hello, in this video we're going to explore creating C++ programs within Microsoft Visual Studio. On the CIT computer systems here at Dixie State, we would first log into Windows, click on the Start menu, and search for Visual Studio. When that comes up, we'll find Microsoft Visual Studio 2010. If you're working on your own computer, you might find a more recent or a different version. This demo will use 2010. We'll start it up and wait for it to go through its startup process. This may take a few seconds. I will pause until it's completed. Okay, Visual Studio has finished starting up, and now we want to create a new program. And in Visual Studio, we usually refer to projects and solutions. Today we're going to start a new project, and so I want to take this initial screen and click on New Project, or I could go up to File, and as soon as that opens up, I could go down to New and choose Project. When the screen pops up here asking us what kind of project we want to create, for our purposes we are creating console applications. Those are applications that will be text-only applications for our purposes, at least at this point in the semester. So I will choose a Win32 console application here as far as my type, and then down below I'm going to give a name to my project, and I will call the name of the project Hello, and then I can select where in my disk I want it to be stored. Right here I've got a place to store such files, and you can see that I've organized it inside of my directory structure. I'm actually going to change the name to be Hello Single, because we're going to write the Hello World program in a single file. And as I mentioned earlier, there are project names and there are solutions. A solution is actually a collection of projects that all work together in some way. Since this is going to be a single project within the solution and the project are going to be the same name. And I do want a new directory created, so the Hello Single directory will be created inside of the CS3005 example. Click OK. You'll be tempted to press the Finish button. Do not do that when you're starting a project for our work here. We'll go to Next. And yes, it is indeed a console application, but here's the important thing that we needed to do. We need to mark this as an empty project. If you don't do an empty project, you'll get a bunch of stuff that Microsoft relies on added to your project, which will complicate things and won't make it work the way that we're covering in class. Okay, so again, we changed it to empty project, and now we can say Finish. The new solution with our new project in it will all be created now, and all the startup files will be set up for us. I think that in this case I'm going to say, don't tell me this message again, just do what you think you need to do. Okay, on the left hand side over here you can see our Solution Explorer, which says that in the Hello Single project, in the Hello Single solution there is a project called Hello Single. It's the only project listed here, and we have different groupings of the files that are involved. We will put our files in the source files because we're going to create a CPP file. In fact, I can click on the source files, right click, and I want to add a new item. I will choose to make that a CPP file because that's our implementation files, and I will go ahead and give it a name that is descriptive here. I'll call it hello.cpp. Click Add. Now the editor section has one tab open because that's the only file that we've created. This is a CPP file. I can go ahead and use their editor to type in the source code for Hello World. And you see that there is syntax highlighting and so forth. It's available for us in their text editor. You'll also notice the little star here next to the hello.cpp. That indicates that I've made changes to the file that have not been saved to disk. So I can use any number of ways. I can click on the save button here. I can go to File and Save, or I can hit Control S, Control Shift S to save all files. Lots of different ways for us to save our file. Okay, we now have a program and source code created. We want to actually compile it and then run it. So in order to compile, we're going to go to the Build menu for Visual Studio and say Build Solution. Build Solution will make sure that all of our files that need to be compiled are compiled, and all projects that need to be linked are linked together. You can watch the output come across down here in our output window, and you can see here it scrolled down. It took it about 5 seconds, and it succeeded in building our project with no other warnings or so forth. If you do want to look back, you can scroll back in this window and see the process that it went through to compile and link our program. Okay, our program is built correctly, so we'd like to run it now. So we're going to go to Debug, and we will start our program without debugging, and it runs, prints out the message, and the console here that it ran in is waiting for us to hit any key, which means touch anything on the keyboard and the window will go away. When we're done with our programming for the day, we can just go ahead and close Visual Studio, and we are done.